Hello, everyone. I'm Venkatesh Krishnamoorthy. I'm the country manager for BSA in India. I have with me Sandip Patel, MD for IBM India, South Asia. Thank you, Sandeep, for being a part of this conversation on AI governance following the release of BSA's policy solutions document. What, in your view, is the current regulatory environment for AI in India? Is this a conducive environment? How do you see it playing out for the development of AI innovation in the country?
So, as is true with, I think, any evolving emerging technology, the regulations, I think, are evolving around the world. Now, India's AI regulatory environment continues to evolve as it has been over the last few years. And when we look at what's happening, the building blocks of data governance on privacy, security, they are clearly falling in place. There's a fair bit of activity that's going on right now, and we will be seeing the new DPDB bill emerge, which will be, I think, a great prelude to other regulations that will start to shape and govern how AI is used at scale in the country. Now, clearly, the India AI mission, which has a significant budget of over 10,000 crores, it should really boost the AI innovation ecosystem in India. And it clearly gives me a lot of excitement about the opportunity, given the scale and challenges that are in the Indian market, to really drive this as AI for business for enterprises.
Thank you, Sandeep. As we know, there are different segments of the AI value chain. IBM focuses exclusively on the enterprise or the B2B aspect of software business. How does AI regulation or AI policy frameworks play out in this area, and how do you see that being slightly different from the consumer facing AI that's being developed and deployed?
So, look, I think the onus on B2B enterprises to have the right kind of trusted AI and the right kind of governance is probably a little bit more onerous than B2C companies, because ultimately, a B2B company that is providing AI to enterprises, ultimately that AI and those solutions are going to be used for end consumers. So, the cascading effect obviously a lot more significant, which is why, as a trusted AI leader, IBM has always believed in the need for smart AI regulation that provides the guardrails for society while we promote innovation. Right now, a lot of global governments are actively discussing how we regulate AI technology to ensure that citizens, businesses, and government agencies are protected from potential risks. Which is why, we sort of always think about, and I think this is important for B2B companies, probably even more so than the B2C companies, is how we regulate high risk AI use cases. And so we are a firm believer that trusted AI is really important, and that we drive the level of responsibility in any AI solutions and platforms that we create. So there are three fundamental principles that we believe are critically important. Number one, provenance of data. At the heart of most generative AI is vast amount of data. Companies need to be able to determine whether the right data was used, where it originated, how it has evolved, and identify any discrepancies in data flows. So the provenance of data probably comes, right at the front of it. Secondly, the explainability of models. So generative AI models must be transparent and explainable so that we can reduce any harmful disinformation or deceptive content. These models do require, therefore, maintenance throughout the AI cycle to ensure that users always know why and how AI decisions were made. And then, lastly, probably most important, is the mitigation and elimination of bias in any kind of AI results. Ensuring fairness and reducing bias is central to risk mitigation. And concern over how to reduce bias will ultimately impact how organizations as a whole use AI on a broad scale. For example, we just recently completed a survey. It was a global survey, including several Indian organizations, And one of the highest reasons why people were actually, and businesses in particular, organizations, were reluctant to use AI is whether or not they could trust the outcomes that came out of AI, and whether they were able to ensure that they were, going to be using AI responsibly. And this is especially true, I think, in highly regulated industries such as financial services and healthcare, where there could be detrimental repercussions, and the tolerance is very low for unethical biased decisions based on incomplete or inaccurate data and models.
Thank you, Sandeep. I mean, laid out all those 3 points so well. I would want to, sort of pick up the thread on the first one, which is provenance. India has completed elections this year. We are looking at elections in UK, US, and a lot of countries are going through election in 2024. One of the aspects that I'd highlighted in my letter to METI was, use of content authenticity solutions initiative, CAI initiative. So, from an IBM perspective, I just wanted to understand how do you look at such initiatives, and especially the role of provenance when it comes to issues like deep fakes, which are quite concerning for the democratic electoral processes across the world.
IBM has always been, very focused on data provenance and data governance. I want to say even 5 to 6 years ago, we were one of the first to come up with a data stewardship manifesto that we had published for the EU when there were concerns around how data was being used in the data science solutions as well as augmented intelligence solutions. And we have continued to evolve that thought as we have developed our Watson X AI platform, where we have continued to maintain that we ensure provenance of where the data is coming from, as well as how the data is being used for the various AI models, which is actually what enables us to indemnify the use of our AI models as they are used by, you know any enterprise that opts to use it. And so this gives us the ability to tell what content is real and what is not. Content authentication and AI transparency measures, they actually help to build trust. So we joined the Tech Accord to combat deceptive use of AI in the 2024 elections at the Munich Security Conference to help advance common approaches to combating deceptive information in elections. That's just one example. The other thing that I would encourage you to look at is we actually have published a blog in BSA. It's a BSA blog entitled IBM's AI Ethics Governance Approach to Deepfakes, which is authored by our Chief Privacy and Trust Officer, Christina Montgomery. And this actually starts to talk about how AI and ethical AI and what we sort of refer to as responsible AI and the elements around that are deeply embedded in both our AI platform, Watson X, as well as all the work that we do with clients to support AI in the B2B space.
Thank you, Sandeep, for that very comprehensive response. There are a couple of points I thought were highlighted very well in your remarks. So, one was how not only are you following some of these provenance measures and taking measures to combat misinformation, disinformation, but you're also helping your consumers also do the same. And I think those initiatives, especially, will be very crucial this year and every other year going forward as well. Maybe one last question before I come to the end of this conversation, which has been quite fantastic. The last one would be, I know IBM has been one of the trusted companies in India, specifically when it comes to the software solutions, the enterprise software solutions that they provide, but also when it comes to skilling and workforce development. With AI coming around in our policy solutions document, we do highlight the importance of skilling, especially, and R&D. Given that IBM has been a leader in both these domains, how have you addressed this in India?
So we continue to do this through a variety of different channels. So we just to set it as a preface, almost 95+% of our CSR investments in India are all targeted towards driving tech skilling, and that too in areas where skilling and development is truly needed. So we've been doing that for a long time. Now, in India in particular, we have been actually one of the pioneers in driving AI skilling at an early age. So we were, I think, one of the first ones that started to work with the CBSC curriculum to incorporate AI as an elective curriculum. And we've had a wonderful experience there, where one of the other things that we did is we introduced a competition at the end of the school cycle for people who had gone through this elective program to actually enter a competition in groups and to actually put together real life AI solutions using IBM technology. And for the top 10 of these groups, we actually invite them into our offices through an internship program. So this is an area where we believe that there is a ton of core skills that are available in India. If we can catch them early, give them the tools and skill them in the right discipline, we can actually create a much larger pool of skilled AI professionals over a period of time as this particular technology evolves. We all know about the demographic dividend that we have in India, and we are a firm believer that if we can skill this demographic dividend in the right kind of skills that are going to be required not just in India but around the world, we can truly become the skill capital of the world right here in India. And I think AI is a technology that is absolutely ready for taking advantage of this demographic dividend.
Thanks a lot for your time, Sandeep. That's all the questions I had for you today. So thanks for your time and your insights in this conversation.
Thank you for having me, Venkatesh. Great to be here.